Game started.
Combo 204. Okay, what am I due for here? Maybe a knight f3 type opening or c4 opening. Yeah, played e4 and d4 recently. Okay, I'll go for an English. And I think I'll try something other than the Botvinnik setup. Just go for a build up in the center. After I castle, I'll go with e3 and d4, build up that way. Got a very symmetrical position here so far, right? Yes, definitely a symmetrical English. It's probably one of those positions where I could have played d4 immediately, and black could also probably play d4. Let me get in the first d4. I don't need to play e3 here, do I? Well, the advantage of playing e3 and then d4 is that if he takes, you get two pawns in the center. Yeah, you have a stronger center. But whereas if you play d4, you have to take back with a piece. Let's try e3. e3, d4. And he might be able to play d5 immediately here. But if he plays knight to f6, which seems like the most normal move, I think I would play d4 anyway. Takes. It's adequately defended there. Yeah, so he just goes for... I've played this way myself with black. You go for like a small center versus a big center, and then look for counter chances later. But white should be a little better. I'm going to castle here and then decide what to do with the queen side over here next. Okay, well, it's good. He's taking his time to think. I like that. It gives me gives me a little time to think too. The hard part about playing players who move super quick is that you don't get any time to think while they are thinking about their move. So you have to do all your thinking on your own time, and it's easy to burn up a lot of clock time that way. So I'd kind of planned that already. I decided this was okay. If he takes, I can take back with the pawn. The question is what to do on the queen side. Do I want to play a3, b4? Okay, but he initiates play in the center, which is not a bad strategy. So I can close it up or I can exchange. I can't really ignore it, I don't think, because he's threatening to push on to e4 here, and that would force me to move this knight away and maybe shut in this bishop. That's not entirely true. Say if he plays e4, I could play knight to g5, and then I have three pieces attacking that pawn, this knight, that knight, and the bishop. And he's only got one defending it, so I think I would be okay there. I'd be able to take the pawn back and leave this diagonal open. It's important not to, I think, let this bishop get shut in. So the other thing he might be threatening is taking. Takes, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, and then he has various discoveries with this knight because the bishop is looking at the queen. But he has a backwards pawn, and the knight moves here, 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 or back. Don't seem all that threatening. So I think I can leave that as it is. And maybe, okay, do I care about his knight coming into b5? That's the next question. Knight to b4, rather. Knight to b4 to d3. Here, here, here. Does not seem like a problem. So let's go this way with the idea of playing bishop to b2 here next and getting some counter along the long diagonal to his good bishop here. And now let's let him calculate, see if he wants to take or push or do any of those things. Taking is now interesting. Takes, knight takes, queen takes. He moves this knight. I have to drop my queen back to where it defends the knight. He has some pressure on this diagonal. But he preempts that. So he doesn't take immediately, but he pins this knight. So that increases the pressure. And there's kind of a weakness here. So let's see. There's an immediate threat of pushing on with e4 because the knight's pinned. If I unpin, then he can take here because I don't have the knight. Well, he can take the knight and then take on d4. So that's probably a good move. Let's see. What can I try here? Knight here, no. Pawn takes. Knight takes. And then trying to unpin in some way. Pawn takes, knight takes. I kick the bishop. He takes my knight. I take back, he takes my bishop, I take back. And then, he's got maybe discoveries along here. I think that's my best try, though. Yeah, I think, so I played a little too loosely there somehow. I'm not so familiar with the English opening as the other opening, so it's easy to get into trouble with unfamiliar openings. So, but that's why I'm playing it, for the benefit of the channel and also maybe to learn about it. Okay, well, at least he's stopping to think. I burned up a lot of time on that move. I may have to start moving quicker in a bit. But that seemed pretty critical. This was a big threat against the knight winning a piece. And the weakness on d5. So he's taking advantage, or d4. There's two problems in my position there. The knight that could be pinned and the fact that I needed that knight to support d4. So good play from black. I was expecting knight takes. If he takes with the pawn, then I can actually push on with e4 and just block his bishop along that diagonal and prevent him from prevent him from taking advantage of my pinned knight. So I think that would be okay. Couldn't play e4 while the d pawn was hanging. That was the problem with playing e4 previously. But now, yeah, so he takes with the knight. So I thought I had to force things. He's not yet winning a piece here because the knight and the bishop are only two pieces. And it's defended. So I need to make sure things don't get any worse, though, because there's also danger along the dark diagonal. And there might be already something gone wrong here. He just needs to clear this diagonal in a hurry, which he can do. He can get rid of this knight in a hurry. Yeah. So takes, and then he moves this knight somewhere, and my knight is hanging. But unless it comes with a big threat, I have one. Oh, he can also win a pawn. That's true. He can just take on h3. I've fallen for that trick before. But it's not fatal. But I think I didn't really have any choice. I needed to do something there. Yeah, so he grabs the pawn, hits my rook. Let's see. What should I do? I also have this problem over here still. Let's bring the bishop back. And if he wants to trade, it'll bring my king forward, and maybe I can get something going on the h-file. I've had a game like that where I was able to do something with the h-file. And like I said, he's got discoveries against the knight here. Maybe, you know what, he should play... Is that a good idea? We could try something like knight to... he didn't. Okay, just reinforced his bishop. So let's defend my knight, defend my loose knight, and evacuate the diagonal. Get the rook to c1 or d1. Maybe bring the queen out. He has a weak pawn here on d6, so even though I'm down a pawn, I probably am not lost. It's probably a position that could be held with good play, but definitely black is better here, so we can check it out and see what I should have done different in that opening phase, early middle game. Maybe I'm thinking queen e2 and rook to d1 and maybe knight to, preparing knight to d5, but that would leave, well, the queen defends the bishop, okay. Queen e2 defending the bishop, rook d1, getting behind the knight. Okay, so let's go here. He can put a rook on the e-file. He's spent a lot of time on those last few moves, so I have actually gained the clock advantage. But he may be someone who can move quickly when he needs to. But now, you know, I'm not so worried. I guess, did I have knight takes? No, yeah, I might have had bishop takes knight if it hops along here. It might be two pieces for rook because he can grab the rook and I can grab this bishop. Yeah, puts the rook on the e-file. That's logical. So now he could try and exploit it by putting a piece on f4 or d4, but I don't see anything coming there immediately, so I don't think that is immediately fatal. He can think about sacrifices. Knight g4 to e6. Yeah, let's just get that rook to the center. I think that's where it wants to be. Maybe my queen really wants to run over to c2. Okay, let's see if he spotted some idea here. Yeah, if there's no immediate threat to the e3 pawn here, then I am just going rook, knight up. Knight to d5. Okay, he's piling up behind this pawn. The thing is, this knight here is it's on a light square, and he has a dark squared bishop. So he trades off the knight, takes my bishop, or not. This rook, he can't, it's difficult for him to evict this rook from the d5 square. He can't chase it away with the bishop. He could chase it away with the rook, though. That's probably his strategy here. Okay, the position is simplified. I can easily get three pieces attacking this pawn, but he can get his pieces defending it, so I don't think I'm winning that. So still an edge here. There's another trick here. I can double the rooks here and then take the c-pawn, taking advantage of the pin on the queen. That's two rooks for a queen and a pawn. Well, it might be interesting transformation of the position, though. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so he got his queen off of there, and he has pinned my rook, which, as I said, it could be attacked by one of his rooks. Let's double, though. And then, maybe I should have unpinned first. I was thinking I could take it. It's kind of a mistaken idea. But the idea would be I take the rook, he takes back, and then I take here with check. So again, it's two rooks for the queen, but of course I can't take back, it's pinned. So let's drop back, unpin. And take a look at this position. Yes, so now if I bring my queen to f6, that's what I'm thinking I should do. Queen to f6, put pressure here. He can play rook to e6. I can bring my queen to the back rank. just stops him from playing rook to e5 as well, trying to chase my rook away. Yeah, so he goes there. So I have the check. He goes back. What else do I have, though? Let's see, maybe drop my queen back here. Keep up the pressure on the pawn, so he has to keep defending it. I could push this e-pawn forward. e4, e5, and then what does he do? Takes, I take. Maybe that's something. Okay, got to keep my rook defended. Let's see, he has some attacks here. Queen to a4 is a double attack on this pawn and that pawn. But then I'm taking his e-pawn. Interesting. Same idea here. Let's see. If I go to d2 and he takes this pawn, I can take that pawn, hitting his queen, and then come in with the check. And queen d2 also hits this pawn over here. Okay, he ignores that in a way. Let's see, what happens if I push e5? If he takes with the rook, I take, he takes, I get a check. Nothing great. Huh? So I have got his pieces a little bit tied down defending his weakness, but I haven't got any great plans for breaking through. But the idea here is to play e5 now, and if he takes, throw in the check.
Check.
And, you know, I thought I was going to get something on this diagonal here. If I go there, he takes back with the rook, then I can pin the rook. Is there a way to, here, this pins the pawn and threatens to come to the back rank. And he's threatening to take over here. That's pretty good too. But is that just a perpetual? What is that? Maybe he's going to go for the draw.
Check.
Which I don't think I can prevent at this point. I just want to make sure I don't get mated here. Yeah, he can take there, huh? Yeah, my king is wide open. There's no way to distract his rook. Yeah, and he's guarding the b8 square. That was my idea, was to get into the back rank here. So yeah, he's going for the win. He's not going for a perpetual here.
Check.
Let's trade queens. I don't see anything better. Let's grab a pawn.
Check. Check.
Or not. Let's grab this pawn. Surely there's some pawn I can grab here. Now let's see, if I go here, I'm too far away, I guess. He pushes, let's see, I go here, he goes there. Or he goes here with check. Yeah, I'm just too far away. It's the problem. If I take, then he checks and gets the rook. Just a little bit, if the king gets close enough, you can hold that. Okay, let's resign here.
White resigns.
Okay, good game. I will upload that and do a postmortem.
Incoming challenge.
See you guys later. Bye.